Welcome to Subramani. One question which keeps coming up is how do advisors or planners or whatever you want to call them, how do they get paid? Well, basically there are four types how they get paid. One is a commission only, second is a fee only, and the third is a combination of commission and fees, and the fourth is set off, which means a person gets a fee, but when he earns a commission he sets it off against that. So these are the four combinations in which by which an advisor can get paid. For each person the what they choose could be different. So for a person investing say 5,000 rupee SIP in a mutual fund, maybe he does not want to go in for a comprehensive financial plan. He's 22 years of age. Whatever you tell him, the amount that he can invest is 5,000 rupees. So maybe he does not need, so a general fund is good enough. Now this person should ideally go to a mutual fund distributor who will be a commission only guy and who will make some money on this. How much money will he make? Well, approximately about 80 paise per annum. That is about 1% comes to 50 rupees. So he will make 40 rupees. So 40 rupees per annum. So per installment. So every month he will make 40 rupees. Annually he will make 480 rupees for 500 rupees. So the thing is, some mutual fund distributors may think it is too small, so they may not even do it. So he should look for an agent or a MFD as he is called, who will be willing to handle his portfolio. It's not a very difficult thing, but there is a lot of work to be done for the first time investor in terms of filling up the KYC form, getting him and his wife to sign, putting their photographs, making photocopies of the check and PAN card, Aadhaar card, and the administrative time spent in doing the KYC. So maybe some distributor will even charge for that, and some other distributor may not charge for that. So I wouldn't know, but yes, this is suitable up to say 25-30 lakhs. It is suitable to go to a commission only guy. What is the problem in what happens when the planners are commission only? Well, they're slightly different from the traditional stockbrokers and insurance salespeople who are also commission only, right? So like if you buy a share, there is a brokerage added to it. If you buy a life insurance, there is a... So these are mutual fund distributors who are pure commission guys. Only thing is so fairly obvious that the more the transactions that you do, the stockbrokers earn more. However, for the mutual fund distributor, you need not really transact too many times. If he chooses to put your money in a good fund, annually your contribution will be there, and what is already there on that also you will get something called a trail commission. So therefore, if you ask a traditional stockbroker, where should I put say 25,000 rupees, he will say buy Reliance or some stuff like that, HDFC Bank, whatever. And after that he does not earn any money. Whereas a mutual fund agent, it is in the mutual fund the agent's interest to keep you invested in a good fund for a long time, because he is going to get a trail commission. So so that is how the commission works. So what happens is, when your amount gets very big, you don't know whether he is adding that much value. Suppose you have a 5 crore portfolio. On 5 crore, again he will make about 4 lakhs a year. 4 lakhs a year is justified, not justified, I'm not getting into it, but yes, that is what he'll make. And maybe now his income will go down, because by the time you reach 5 crores, you will have a lot of debt funds, so therefore his commission will go down. And then on that he will also be, if he has also grown in the meanwhile, he would also be paying 18% GST, which is borne by him and not by you. So then his income comes down from that 80% to about 40%, simply because the commission structure would be different for debt funds and for equity funds, and on that he has to pay income tax and he has to pay GST. So he will end up making something like 30 to 40 paise, or perhaps even less. On liquid funds and all, he gets much lesser than what he gets in an equity fund. So if your 5 crores is largely equity, what I said is true, but if it is largely debt, he would be making something like 20 paise or even less. So 20 paise would mean about less than 1 lakh is what he'll end up making even with a 5 crore portfolio. So this is just for your information how it works. The second one is fee only. Now this person will charge you a fee immaterial of the size of your portfolio. So they would have a minimum charge, say 20,000 rupees, for which he will make your financial plan and help you with the go with your goal setting, etc., and tell you you need to invest so much for this goal, so much for that goal. This makes sense provided you have a bigger surplus. Suppose you want to do a 2-3 lakh rupee per month SIP, then it makes sense for you to go to a planner and say, okay, allocate so much to my retirement, so much to my daughter's education, so much to my son's education, and so much for entertainment. We need to create a corpus or things like that. So there it makes sense to pay a fee, and the fee could be anything from 15,000 to 20,000. It takes a lot of time and effort. First of all, there is I've seen 30-40 page questionnaire asking how many people are dependent on you, are your in-laws dependent on you, are you supporting your history teacher, right? What have you, how is your health condition, do you have adequate health insurance, etc., etc. So it will be a longish questionnaire where you sit with one para planner or a junior planner and engage with him and fill up this. Filling up the form could be pretty time consuming. It is expected that the client fill the form as a couple. So then there will be a lot of detailing about right from their health and wealth and their mental wealth wiring. What scared you in 2008, what scared you in 2019, how did you react in March 2020, right? All those questions will be there to find out. It's a very crude attempt to find out your risk profile. Then there will be risk profiling also, or rather what you think is your risk profile as of today, because your risk profile attitude also keeps changing. In a bull market you feel more brave, in a bear market you feel more conservative. But anyway, this whole process could take a couple of days, maybe 3 days, and then he will arrive at a plan and say you should invest so much in mutual funds, you should take so much of term insurance, and blah blah blah. So you will end up doing all those things. It means he will charge you a fee, give you the plan, and then he will back out. He does not need to do anything beyond that. He's met you, he's found out your risk profile, and he has gone away. He may or may not recommend funds in which to invest, but there's a very high probability that he will recommend the funds. Now you're supposed to go and implement it on your own. The disadvantage which I find many people see in a fee only is, yes, of course there is no conflict of interest, but then there is no interest also, because for the fee only planner it does not matter how well your fund does. For the commission only guy it matters, because if the fund does well and you stay on in that fund, he gets a greater commission. So yes, there is conflict of interest, but here the accusing thing is they do not earn a commission. That's fine, but they do not have any interest in how well the portfolio does. Of course, you will not come back to him next year or after 5 years if the portfolio does badly. But it may not be a good thing to change your planner every year just because the portfolio has not done well. That doesn't really happen. So that is the problem with the pure commission guy. And then between what they earn and what you pay, there is again could be a problem, because suppose you really have a 5 crore portfolio and you have a 5 lakh or a 3 lakh rupee SIP. You'll still have to go implement, do the form filling or do it online. All that you will have to do it yourself. Many people may not be wanting to do it or willing to do it, so they have to go to another person who will sit there and do it. Unfortunately, that work is not really available on a fee only basis. It is available only on a commission basis. Now that is pretty bad, because then you're paid the planner and you're paying somebody a commission to invest. Why can't you do it yourself? Well, there are some people who don't want to do it themselves. For those people, there is an additional cost of going to somebody who will sit and do it. Some para planners will implement it for you. When I say implement it, it means there will be a staff in the planner's office who will sit and implement it for you. Make sure that he puts it in a plan called the direct plan, because you have already paid the fees. Now there are some people, the third category is the one where they say, because your portfolio is very small, it's only 5,000 rupees per month SIP, we will charge you 5,000 rupees as an administrative cost, or 500 rupees as an administrative cost. It is not a fee, it is just the administrative cost of setting up your KYC and setting up your account, etc., and then we will implement it, but we will do it as a regular distributor, so we make a commission on that. So he may charge you 500 rupees for that, and as we saw, he makes annually, he'll make about 300 to 400 rupees on doing that transaction. So he's earning about, say, 1,000 rupees per, because he must be having some minimum that I have to make at least 1,000 rupees per client or 2,000 rupees per client, because below which it may not be worthwhile for him to have an office and an AC and up and running thing, right? So that brings us to the third category, who charge expense or a fee or whatever you want to call, and they earn a commission. Now this combination can work, will have to work as long as your SIP amounts are small, but about 10 or 25 lakhs, 10 lakhs or 25 lakhs, different planners think differently. They will then shift to a model where they will say, okay, we will not be charging you any fee annually or one time, and this relationship will continue. However, because the relationship is 25 lakhs, you may still have to pay for some other things, like if you come to him and say, look, there has been a death in the family, will you handle this transmission? He might say, okay, 1,000 rupees per folio of transmission that I have to handle. So some of those other things might get added. This is exactly the difference between a full-fledged broker and a cut broker, right? A cut broker will have to charge you for everything else that you go to him for, because he cannot afford to give you anything free. The price does not include that, exactly like how an airline is priced. Now a full airline will give you something to eat and all those things free because it's priced in, and a cut airline will not give you any of those things. You will have to buy your food or tea or water, right? You will have to do that. So that's the difference. So this is a fee plus commission model. So both can work, again depending on the level of investment that you make. For very big investors, obviously he will not be charging anything, but however for smaller investors he will have to charge something to offset his cost, because if he did it free, if he did a 5,000 rupee SIP free, and after 3 months the client stopped the SIP for whatever reasons, that means this guy is left in the woods wondering what to do, because he did it free thinking this 5,000 rupees is going to come for another 5, 10, 20 years when he'll make money. But if the client stops in 3 months, then what happens, right? So therefore some MFDs work on a fee plus commission model. The fourth model is one which says, I will charge you 30,000 rupees or 35,000 rupees for making your financial plan and helping you implement. I will implement everything through the agency model, which means I will get commission from the mutual fund company or from the life insurance company or from the broker. I might be a sub-broker. So as and when I get that money, I will set off 50% against your fees. So if I get say 1 lakh rupees as commission, then 50,000 of your fees will be set off. So next year will be free. It's not that I'm going to give back a check, but this is what is going to happen. But please understand one thing. When your agent makes money, it's the question of what you pay, right? So if you pay 1 rupee as commission to your agent, it is not that he makes 1 rupee. Yes, 1 rupee is going out of your pocket. Yes, 1 rupee is being charged by the mutual fund extra on your investment and being given to him. But look at what reaches him. First, that 18% GST is something which he is bearing, which technically should be borne by either the investor or by the fund house. But it is being borne, as of now, it is being borne by the distributing agent. So which means 18% is gone. It comes down to 82 paisa. Assuming he pays tax on a 30% slab, that is another 25 rupees gone, right? 1/3 of 82 is about 26, 27, and that is gone. So let us remove 30 from that, about 50. About 52, 53 paise is what he earns at the gross level, and not 1 rupee. Though you're paying 1 rupee, what reaches him is 50 paise approximately. And from that he has to meet his office expenses and all that, or you can take the tax after you deduct the expenses. So approximately 45 to 50 paise is what he makes in a high paying equity fund. In a debt fund he must be making about 30 paise, and in ultra short and liquid funds and all he must be making about 2-3 paise, 5 paise max. Because 5 paise is what he gets at the gross level. So after that, if he has to pay GST and income tax, you can imagine what he gets. So what your agent makes is something which you should view from a total package point of view. How much is he making on your pension fund? How much is he making on your life insurance? How much is he making on your child plan? How much is he making on your liquid fund, equity fund, etc., on your whole portfolio? Look at a figure. If it is around 70 paise or 80 paise, that is fair. But look at it in a holistic, complete package. If he's the same guy who's selling you life insurance or selling life insurance through his wife, consider all that total. See as a percentage of AUM how much he's getting. Anything less than 1% is good, especially if his quality is good. But he may be then charging you separately for making a will or transmission, etc., or he may be charging you nothing. If your portfolio size is say 5 crores or 10 crores, then he may say, okay, I can throw some of those things free. Like I know some IFAs or MFDs as they are now called, who throw in income tax return filing free, right? So some of those things could come to you as a freebie if your portfolio size is big. It will not come to you if your portfolio size is small. And set off is again a little difficult because it would be in separate entities. But yes, all these models exist. So sorry for making it a long video, but it had to be a comprehensive video because many people were asking me this question about how their agents get compensated. Thank you.